Hey everybody, welcome back to Beyond the Saga. Dave Cottingham here with Hannah Burr. Good evening, Hannah.
Good evening. How are you?
I am doing good. We are continuing talking about the stories beyond the Skywalker saga. And in this episode, we are tackling book 2 of the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy called Greater Good. Now, it's been a while since our last video we did of this, which was the first book, and that is only because it's taken me a long time to get through this book. It's a thick, massive book. Here, I actually got it sitting right here.
It's a
So,
lot.
yeah, I've got Thrawn book right here, Greater Good. I mean, it's a big, thick one.
Yeah.
And, I listened to it, right? Did you listen to the audiobook on this
I
one?
did listen to the audiobook.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a lot of hours of listening.
It is. And there's so much going on
There is.
that's somehow all connected in the end.
Okay. Well, you've done the third book already?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't, so I'll get there, I guess, and see how this all comes through. But this being the middle part of a trilogy, there is definitely a lot going on, a lot of characters, a lot of setup. Yeah, it's just a lot going on. So summarize as best you can, Hannah. Well, your thoughts on this book?
First off, I love it. I absolutely love this book. I think it's because there were so many different storylines to follow, and they all come together at the end of the second book in a way that you're like, holy smokes, like, how did this happen? So I'm going to try to summarize. I'm going to be leaving out a lot of characters because, once again, summary, don't want spoilers. So
Yeah.
you have Griskus trying to, and Yiv trying to infiltrate and destroy the Chiss. And they have a secret weapon, which is an Mdui alien species that we've never heard of before. And this particular individual is Hapleaf.
Yes.
And his job is to, and this isn't necessarily a spoiler, but his alien species is able to essentially read people's minds and their thoughts through touch, and is able to then glean more about the Chiss. And through learning the Chiss, that's how they're going to bring the Chiss down to find their weakness. And they do find a weakness through something that's very valuable to the Chiss. It's not their third eyes. It's not them, but it's something else that's very, very precious to the Chiss that could potentially destroy them. So while that's going on, the other major story, like, that's one major plot. The other major plot is Thrawn, Cheery, Aralani. They pick up this group of refugees essentially, and they have a leader there, and she's the leader of the Magus, and she believes that it is their destiny to die, and so she basically wants to take her own life and take the life of her followers, because she believes that is what the gods that they follow, that's the belief. And
Right.
so in an effort to save them, Thrawn tries to figure out what's going on. And he learns about their home planet. And the home planet ends up being the connection between the two storylines. And I think that's all I can say in summary
Yeah.
without giving it away.
Pretty good. Not bad.
I think.
Yeah. And that group is the group that they find is the refugees is the Nicardoon, which
Yes.
which that basically Thrawn's tasked with eliminating, in a sense. So
It's a whole thing.
yeah, it's a whole thing. So yeah, so what'd you think? You love this book though, so
I
yeah.
love this book so much. Like, there's so much that I left out because I'd rather, well, one, it'll take me forever to give a summary if I'm
Yeah.
going to, like, that's going into every single chapter at that point. Second, I think it's important for people to just have that kind of skeleton synopsis and then just to dive in
Yeah.
and just experience it, because there are twists and turns at every single chapter. And for me, what made me keep, like, I think I finished the audiobook in 2 days, because at the end of almost every chapter I was like, oh no, and I just kept going.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to be honest. It took me a while to get through this, because there is a lot of explanation going on, and a lot of dialogue. In fact, there was points where I was like, man, I don't feel like there's a lot of Thrawn in this, because there's this whole storyline that you're talking about. It's going on. It's bouncing back and forth. Plus, you got a lot of these memories that pop up, right?
Yes.
Throughout the book. And yeah, I just found there's some action in there, but I felt like there's not a lot of action going on. So, I mean, obviously a lot of books are just a lot of dialogue, but this is a lot of dialogue, a lot of storylines getting set up, a lot of things that you got to follow, a lot of characters. And so it was hard for me to like put it down, because I was only listening to it every once in a while, and then it's like I kind of got back into it, and I kind of refreshed my memory a little bit on. Yeah, that's an advantage that you had if you're getting through it in a couple days.
I was about to say, this is one of those books where you do not want to take it in bites. You have to just be like, okay, I'm
Yes.
taking a chunk of today and I'm doing it. For me, it was, oh, I'm going on an 8-hour road trip, so I'm going to pop this sucker in and
Oh, that's
go.
great. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to be able to do that. Yeah, long road trips or flights, where you can jump on. Because for me, it's really kind of just driving in the car, or mowing the grass or something like that. When I would really get a lot of my books in was I was shooting football games sometimes of Friday nights, but I stopped doing that, so I don't have that time anymore to do that. And then car rides, I'm working so much, I'm like on the phone really when I'm driving. So
I
it's
was
like,
about to say, I'm like, when do you have time to listen to it in
so
the
it's
car?
like,
You're normally on your
mo-
phone in the car.
yeah, mowing the grass was really the only time I ever got a chance to really listen to. So, it's almost going to be mowing season here in a little bit. So I'll get back to like doing it more regularly. But anyway, but yeah, this book, it's very entertaining. It does want to get you. I mean, obviously written by Timothy Zahn. Which we didn't really say. Of course, he wrote this as well as the whole trilogy, and this takes place shortly after the first book, or is it directly? It might be directly after
I
the
think
first
it's
book.
directly.
Probably. Yeah. This whole series, I think, takes place roughly about 18 years before the Battle of Yavin, so 18 BBY.
Yes.
This book came out in 2021, so it's been out there a little bit, but it's one of three. So the next one, which is called it's called Lesser Evil.
I was about to say, I thought it was Lesser Evil.
Yeah, Lesser Evil is the third one. So, yeah. What else? What else did you like about this?
I gotta say, with all of those characters in mind, for this one, I would highly recommend the audiobook. Just because the distinction of the different voices is top notch.
Yeah, Mark Thompson, of course.
I was about to say Mark Thompson is just a genius.
Yeah. Yeah, he has the voices down for sure, and it definitely helps.
Yeah, I was about to say, I even though most of the time when we say, oh, you got to listen to the audiobooks, it's because there's extra sound effects, there's extra bits and bobs going on in the background, so it sounds like a movie. In this case, I would recommend listening to the audiobook just so you can keep track of which characters are currently in play.
Right. But here's the thing about Mark Thompson. There's definitely not knocking the guy. The guy is freaking unbelievable. But at some point, voices start sounding like other. So I've listened to so many of his books like this character, I was like, oh, that guy sounds like the way he played this character, but
like there are like 100 different characters in this book.
exactly. Yeah. There's no way you can, but the way that he switches between the different species is pretty incredible.
Yes, indeed.
And like, Thrawn, of course, is obviously iconic, but, who's the other Chiss girl?
Arlani.
Arlani, yeah. Just how he switches from her to him is just, it's phenomenal.
This is Arlani with the Chiss Ascendancy.
Yeah. He's good. He's so good.
I think the other sidebar of this is that with the memories in this, we learn a lot more because, Hapleaf is trying to learn more about the Chiss. We ourselves learn more. And we get those memories and we learn more about the family structure.
Yeah.
And like the governing and ruling structure of the Chiss, which plays a huge role in this too. And that plays especially a huge role in the next book.
True. Very true. Okay. I haven't been there yet, but yes,
It does.
totally see that happening. Yeah. Okay, where are you rating this thing then?
4.5.
4.5. Wow. Yeah.
Love it.
That's up there.
This book is, it's so meaty. It's delicious.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. A solid 4. It's pretty up there. It's pretty good. Now, we can't really say this has that big of an impact on the Skywalker saga because this takes place completely out of the known galaxy this is all in the unknown regions.
I would say I would actually disagree just because I've read the third book.
Oh,
This sets a couple dominoes in place. Let me just say I'll just say this, the end of the third book greatly impacts the Skywalker saga.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. So just because I know that,
because Thrawn ends up in.
Yeah, but
obviously he ends up with
the dominoes of that start in this book.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to say no, it does impact it, and you'll see how. But in the moment, yes. When I first read the book,
this book, yeah, because if you read this and don't know the third book yet,
yes, I will say that. Like, if you just read this book, you're like, well, what does this have to do with the Skywalker saga? But when you read the third book, you're like, oh,
interesting. Okay.
That's what it has to do with the Skywalker saga.
Yeah. Because obviously this is before Thrawn, makes his way to the Empire and things like that. So, okay, well, come back, or if it's already out, go check our review of the third Thrawn Ascendancy book, Lesser Evil. Of course, we'll explain everything we're talking about right now as far as how I got to go, again, if it's out there, it's out there, but I got to go read the third book or listen to the third book first.
Yeah.
So I can help put that in. But yeah, if you're as that excited about it, I'm excited about diving into it.
Oh, it's
so good, huh? Yeah. Well, look, the first trilogy, not the expanding universe version, but the canon version, just the Thrawn trilogy, where it was like Thrawn Alliance and Thrawn Treason, like those books were incredible. From Timothy Zahn. And then this is obviously taken a whole new level because just explaining the whole Chiss Ascendancy and their portion of the galaxy and all that stuff. It's very interesting.
Yes, it is. Talk about a deep dive.
Very deep dive. Very, again, for people out there that are almost, not sick of it, but want something different other than the Skywalker saga. I mean, this is a different part of the galaxy. This is a whole other civilization out there that's not in the Republic or anything like that, or Empire. So it is a whole new everything. So
absolutely, highly recommend.
All right, thanks for coming here and checking us out. Go to our YouTube channel, check out more of our storylines, more of our more of our shows. You got council sessions on there, more beyond the sagas and things like that. So, of course, every week Inside the Force, Hannah and I break down all the Star Wars news and what's happening. And we will see you next time. Thanks, Hannah.
Thanks, Dave.
Take care, everybody. May the Force be with you.